Bonjour, c'est moi, Dene. Welcome back to another episode of Tell Me Why here on my channel. In the last episode, we went up into the loft where we still are, and Marianne's whole life came together. She ran away from home because the pressure was too much. She was pregnant. Her baby was her most prized treasure, and she did everything so that he would be safe. And then he died for some reason, which we still don't know, and she built an entire life around him, and yeah, it's all fallen into pieces, and then she finally got the twins, and well, now we have to leave the loft and go to the docks, but since it's only saying leave the loft, I have a feeling that we might run into somebody as soon as we step down.
You really want to go?
Huh?
You sure we've seen everything?
Okay, wait.
I guess we could stay a little longer if you think there's more to find.
I don't think there's more to find, to be honest. Let me check that again. I also like how she could close the curtains. You know, if somebody were to come up here and wasn't supposed to see this, well, let's be real. If they were up here, they were sneaking and they would have gone through there anyway, but yeah. Yeah, no, it seems like we checked everything out. Okay, let's go down.
You really want to go?
Yes.
You sure we've seen everything?
Yes, I am. Let's go.
Either way, I'm ready for this to be over.
Me too.
Because we will meet the Mad Hunter again. He won't stop, I'm sure. We will meet him again. And hopefully finally find out who he is.
What are we waiting for? I want to know who was here that night.
Me too.
Let's try and remember who Marianne was arguing with.
Almost.
Tom Vecchi.
Tom? Tom Vecchi is our father?
Of course. It had to be him.
Tessa knew, didn't she?
Yeah, she must have. It's what she didn't want to tell us.
God, Marianne and Tom?
I know.
What should we do now?
Yeah, call him out here and make him tell us what was going on.
And if he won't?
We know his secret. He will. Tom? It's Allison. We need to talk. We know it was you.
Holy shit. Well, yeah, either Tom, Sam, or Eddie, right? And yeah, it was Tom.
Let me take the lead on this. I know him better. I thought I did, anyway.
Sure. Whatever.
Is he not
As
gonna
long as we
shoot
get
us?
answers.
I think he would do anything, to be honest.
Kids, listen.
You're our father.
Yes.
You knew how bad it got out here. How little we had. Why didn't you help Marianne?
You mean all the money she wanted? We didn't have anything to spare. Well, that winter was rough on everyone. And you would have starved out here if not for all the free food we gave you.
Don't act like you had anything to do with that. That was all Tessa.
That's a cruel presumption, young man. Maybe it was Tessa's idea initially. But I supported it. And your mother was happy to live off our handouts.
You were here that night. You saw Marianne and Tyler. Why didn't you help?
I know it wasn't my best moment. But she threatened my life.
So you just decided to let her drown?
I didn't decide anything. Everything happened so fast, I panicked.
The Mangy Muskrat.
By the time I got to town, Brown was already on his way out. There was nothing else I could do.
So what do we do now?
We tell him he's gotta fix the mess he made. One way or another.
Hey. You hearing me?
Yo, sorry. I'm trying really hard to keep myself from punching him.
Go ahead, Tyler, go ahead.
Does he really expect us to believe there wasn't anything else he could have done that night?
I don't know, Ellie. I'd rather not think about it.
You tried to burn down our barn and knocked Tyler unconscious.
I never meant to hurt anybody. You weren't supposed to be home.
Doesn't excuse the fact that you didn't even stop to help.
What do you want me to say? I panicked.
The Mangy
I
Muskrat.
was terrified that this whole thing was going to blow up in my face. I had to do something.
He's not even the least bit sorry for what he did. He could have seriously hurt you.
Yeah, he's just a fucking coward.
The Mangy Muskrat.
You failed us, Tom. You need to make it right.
I'll do whatever you want. As long as none of this gets out.
Excuse me?
You want me to pay for my mistakes? Fine. But please, Tessa can't know. This'd kill her.
Tessa already knows, Tom.
No. That's impossible.
It never occurred to you the reason Tessa cut Marianne off was you?
But she never said anything. Oh, Lord.
You should try talking to your wife. Maybe if you had, we wouldn't be in this situation. And maybe Marianne wouldn't be dead.
Oh, come on. You of all people should appreciate how troubled Marianne was. She was unhinged. Something like this would have happened sooner or later.
That was convenient for you, huh? You preyed on her because she was vulnerable. And you knew you could always blame it on crazy Marianne Ronan if you got caught.
It was nothing like that. Nothing at all. Your mother was a very pretty woman. And she'd been so many places and done so many things. The way I always thought I would have. I got caught up. Love made me a fool. Look, I made mistakes. But this will not go any further than the three of us.
Why? We know. Tessa knows. Marianne's dead. There's no point in hiding it anymore.
He's afraid it'll tank his campaign.
I'm gonna take care
Am
of
I
that.
wrong?
Trust me,
Jesus,
Tom.
I've kept your secret all these years. I don't want to go spilling it. But I will if I have to.
What?
Yeah. Your little story about self-defense.
Oh!
Never
Yeah,
told
makes sense.
anyone how Marianne really died. night, I came out here because I was worried about your mother.
Why do they do it? They made me do it. They made me do it. Why did they do it? It's his fault. It's his fault. Manhunter.
But why is it completely different again? Why isn't he on the boat down there?
I'm not gonna hurt you.
He's bullshitting. Why isn't he on the boat? We've seen another version of this. It wasn't raining and he was on the boat and she was threatening him. This is bullshit. He isn't telling the truth.
No. No way.
Yes.
You're a fucking
He is a
liar.
fucking liar. This is exactly what we thought happened. And then we saw what really
You're
happened.
manipulating us just like you manipulated her.
Tyler!
You're not listening to this, are you?
Be smart about this, Allison. Are you sure you want this to get out? You've got way more here to lose than he does. His name will be all but clear, but you'll be a killer. What will your uncle say? And Michael? Well, the whole town might turn on you.
Don't touch her.
You know I'm right.
Just get out of here, Tom. Tyler and I need to talk alone.
Just please think twice before making any rash decisions. There are a whole lot of lives at stake here.
Leave us the fuck alone.
We have to choose the ultimate
and
memory,
never come
don't we?
back. Allie, you okay? You didn't let that asshole get to you, did you? Did you?
What if he's right?
He isn't.
I've been having all these nightmares about that night, and they were a lot like how Tom said. And now, when I try to remember, that's all I can see.
He's trying to mess with your head.
Yes.
And you're letting it work.
No, it's more than that. Ever since we started digging, I haven't been able to shake this feeling like something's off.
Something's off because he put this in your head. Don't let him get away with it.
He might not be lying. We keep getting things mixed up. We remember totally different versions of the past.
Those are just details. This isn't that. She was going to kill me.
I'm not so sure anymore, Tyler.
She was gonna kill Tom. He was on the boat. And that's the true version. And not the one where Tyler dies. Or would have died.
She had a gun pointed at me. She chased me. She said she was going to kill me.
She threatened Tom with those exact same words. With the same gun, on the same pier. The thing you said to Eddie the other day got thrown back at me. Don't you think it's possible that happened here too?
I guess it's possible. Fuck. I don't know. And we're never gonna know the truth, are we? Because the second you walk away from something, that's it.
Yeah.
I guess at this point, you just have to decide what you believe.
Me?
Yeah. You need to start dealing, Allie. And that means coming to terms with whatever version of the past feels the most true to you. No more running. Whatever you choose, you gotta live with it, okay?
I'm going to kill you!
I don't even have to think twice about that.
Oh, please. No, don't do this. Alice, this isn't what...
Because we remember, Allison ran away. She didn't see what really happened here.
She was going to kill herself. Just herself. You interrupted her and... We got confused.
Are you sure?
Yes. That attic. Tyler, that was meant for us. It was her way of explaining what she was going through. I made a horrible mistake.
Hey, it's okay. I'm here. Hey, peep what I just found downstairs. What do you think? Will it have aged well, or just gone bad? Where are you at right now?
I just keep hearing her say she wasn't going to hurt you. Over and over.
We were kids. We freaked out. You weren't equipped to deal with that shit.
She was just talking to you. And I killed her.
Stop.
I don't want to use our voice again. Ever.
What? Seriously?
I don't know. But I want to stop feeling like this. And I think we'll be better off without it. This morning, I kept getting these horrible visions. Of you and Marianne and Eddie.
Visions. Like our memories?
Yeah, but different. It was all my worst thoughts brought to life. You were in my bedroom saying I abandoned you. Eddie called me a snake.
I'm sorry. I should have been there for you.
It's okay, I was the one who walked out. I can't let that happen again.
I don't think it will. Something's been pushing us to find answers. And now we have them. Maybe I'm wrong. And if it stays bad, we can stop. But I really want to keep what makes us, us.
The Mad Hunter was forced to remain below the lake with the Moon Hag, but she did not kill him, because even reduced to just one hand, he was too useful a servant. Lo, he plotted
What do you
the day
think?
he would emerge,
Brothers and
to
sisters?
once again hunt the wise princess and earn back his left hand.
Always.
And that is the story of how the crafty goblins rescued the wise princess from the Mad Hunter.
The Moose Teaches the Goblins. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, the crafty goblins were hungry. This wasn't unusual. The goblins were always hungry. But today, they were particularly hungry. They opened the wise princess's cupboards to look for a snack, but all she had was a small pile of nuts and berries and just one strip of dried fish. The goblins grabbed it all and gobbled it up, but they were still hungry. They went out into the woods to look for more to eat. First, they dropped by the small pond. The big frog was asleep, and beside the pond was a pile of insects she had caught for eating after she woke up. The goblins crept up to the pile, careful not to wake up the big frog. As they got close, she rabbited loudly, and they froze. But the big frog kept sleeping. So they grabbed up the pile of insects and gobbled it up, but they were still hungry. As they crept back into the woods, they found the stalwart moose watching them.
Did you just steal the big frog's food?
The goblins tried not to look guilty but failed. She said we could have them, they cried.
Oh, really?
Asked the moose.
Let's ask her.
So Moose woke up Big Frog and asked,
Did you say the goblins could have your food?
The big frog looked at the goblins, who she knew were always hungry, and nodded.
Yes, I did.
Really? Asked the moose, surprised. Frog nodded and the moose sighed.
All right then,
he said, and he had to let the goblins go. Their next stop was the river. They watched as Old Bear swiped at a leaping salmon, catching it deftly in his large paws. He lay it out upon a rock and left it to dry, lumbering into the woods to seek out some berries. The crafty goblins crept up to the rock, carefully in case Old Bear returned. They reached the rocks, grabbed the salmon, and gobbled it all up, but they were still hungry. As they crept back into the woods, the stalwart moose was once again waiting for them.
Are you going to tell me Old Bear said you could have that?
Yes, replied the goblins. Old Bear ambled up at that moment, and Moose asked him,
Did you leave that fish for the goblins?
Old Bear looked at the goblins, who he knew were always hungry, and nodded.
I did,
he said.
Really?
Asked the moose. Really? Said the Old Bear, running out of voices, to be honest. After Moose left, Old Bear said to the goblins,
Be sure to tell the princess I was kind to you, and don't steal my fish again.
The goblins, still hungry, went out looking for one more meal. They crept up to the Mangy Muskrat's lodge and began to climb inside when they were dragged right back out. The stalwart moose dangled them by the seats of their pants and said,
Now, I know Mangy Muskrat didn't tell you that you could eat his food because he blames you for his coat being ruined. Besides, he barely has enough for himself and doesn't share with anyone.
The goblins began to protest, but he shook his head. He set the goblins down and said,
Come with me.
The goblins followed the stalwart moose to a part of the river where it ran slow enough for them to walk into it safely. He gave them each a fishing line and said,
I am going to teach you to fish, so that when you are hungry, you do not need to steal from the animals of the forest. It will be hard work, but it will be honest.
The crafty goblins were not against working hard. They were just hungry, and so they listened to Moose and soon pulled wiggling fish out of the river. They ate them up, and finally they were no longer hungry. And that is how the moose came to teach the crafty goblins to fish. I'm assuming that this story was written on the same day, at the beginning of chapter 2, when there was the memory while cleaning up the living room of Mary Ann taking a photo of the twins with Eddie, and then later on the porch, where we saw Eddie teaching the twins how to clean the fish. Remember? I think the story might have been written on the same day. And it's nice to see that they all know the animals of the forest, or, well, the residents of Delos Crossing, know about the situation the goblins are in, or the twins are in, and that they let them take it. Well, anyway, that was how the moose teach the goblins to fish.